So we will now start the webinar. So please be aware we will have a Q&A session at the end. So if you have any questions, you can send them now and we will answer at the end of the session. So Hanan, please go ahead.
Thank you very much, Noah. Hi, everybody. We have attendees in the good morning, good afternoon, and yes, even the good evening time zones. So welcome everybody to the theDOCK webinar. This is the second out of a 4-session webinar series, and we welcome this time Liberty Global out of New York and Orca AI out of Tel Aviv. I will present the panel members shortly. However, few words first about the theDOCK. The theDOCK is, for those of you who are not familiar yet with the organization, we are a VC fund and an accelerator, and we focus over ports, shipping, and maritime logistics. We've been active for 3 years now, and we have built over the years a nice portfolio of promising startups that we invested in, and a network of global partners, all which are leaders in subsectors of the overall maritime industry. We stay loyal to our charter, which has been making the two ends meet together. That is the high-tech ecosystem and the maritime industry. And of course, we are attentive also to these special times of COVID-19, and this will be part of the context for what we discuss, but a bit further on that context. So in this series, we picked up 4 pairs of startups and corporates. And when we picked up those 4 cases, we looked at the following qualification criteria. Number 1, that the solutions not only address a real need in the market or real pain in the market, but also that pain was further amplified during the special circumstances in which we are today. And there is likelihood that those solutions are going to be accelerated in terms of adoption in the post-corona era. So that's one criteria. The second criteria is that we were looking for actual implementations in the field, namely startups and solutions which not only provide a vision or a set of slides, but actually have working implementations out in the field. Last week, we had the Zim lines and the Wave as that pair, and you can obviously listen to recordings of that session that we had last week. However, I'd like to maybe go over the 4 top highlights taken from last week's session. And very quickly, first of all, the first takeaway was the forward-looking carriers are eager to become more digital. This is sort of a general message that was cited by the CIO of Zim, who was on the webinar. The second one is that the shipping business has been bleeding for some time, and this is partially due to the lack of cooperation between players, and the specific solution which was presented by Wave last week, which was about electronic trade documents, poses an opportunity for a network effect that will benefit all players. A third takeaway was about fast onboarding, which is important always, but specifically during these challenging times. That was an important point. And last was that COVID-19 helps the businesses get past what was defined as the barrier of understanding due to the clear criticality of the need. In certain cases, some applications and technology that might have existed maybe a couple of years before the crisis got accelerated in terms of demand and adoption. By the way, the Zoom session that we conduct right now is a clear example of that as well. So having said all that, I'd like to revert to our guests on this session today. So we have Josh Shapiro, who is the COO of Liberty Global, and we have Yarden Gross, founder and CEO of Orca AI. And I'd like Josh and Yarden to first start with each one of you taking a couple of minutes to introduce yourself and the business that you represent, your roles, etc. Josh, why won't you go first with that?
It says I am muted by the host, but if
Okay.
everyone can.
You're okay now.
Good day, everyone. Thank you to theDOCK for hosting this webinar. I hope everyone watching is safe and well at home and following social distancing and observing other local guidelines. I'm Josh Shapiro. I'm the Chief Operating Officer at Liberty. Liberty Global Logistics is a point-to-point multimodal logistics company. Our core focus is on the ocean using pure car truck carriers or RoRos. We also provide other logistics services to complete our supply chain using trucking, rail, and air freight. Our vessels run an around the world service from the US through the Mediterranean into the Middle East, via Singapore to the Far East and back to the United States. It's approximately a 90 to 120 day international voyage. Our focus is on break bulk commodities, rolling stock, heavy freight, and automotive freight. We do work for the US government and various other commercial entities worldwide, and have a focus on growing our digital presence using technology both onshore and at sea.
Okay, great, Josh. Thanks for that. And Yarden, you're next.
Yeah, thanks Hanan and theDOCK for organizing the webinar. And hello everyone for watching this from home. Hope you're safe and wish for better days. My name is Yarden Gross, and I'm the founder of Orca AI. I founded the company in middle of 2018 with my co-founder, Odo. I think he's watching us as well. And we actually met when we both served in the Israeli Navy 12 years ago. So we both have extensive background in the maritime domain, in the operational side, and also in the technology side. We were a part of developing and operating unmanned vessels. And we started Orca with a vision to enhance safety and efficiency by developing autonomous capabilities for ships. I'm a second-time entrepreneur, started my first tech company in 2014, and it's great to be here. Looking forward to share more about Orca and the technology we're building.
Okay, great. So that's impressive. And let's move to the first topic and address what's first. So let's talk about the need, Josh. And what I'd like to ask you is what is the need, or where is the pain, the operational pain that actually warranted a solution such as Orca that we will discuss soon. But I'd like to start from the need side, if you can provide Liberty's perspective of that.
Sure. So, we start by having a safety culture, a safety first priority at Liberty. And so safe stowage and safe navigation are a priority to ensure safe voyages. And looking at navigation improvements and aids, object detection and collision avoidance enhances a vessel's ability to safely navigate near and far from home in all different types of waters and weather conditions. It also provides an enhancement tool for mariners to improve their skill sets. Yarden will talk more, but thermal cameras can see longer and through different conditions than the human eye. And therefore, it makes mariners' jobs somewhat easier, safer, and it also fits into other initiatives that shipping companies and operators are focused on. Risk management, we get to evaluate how a ship performs in different conditions, how different mariners have handling capabilities. And so when you combine safety, navigation, and risk management, we have a true use case, and Orca has a great and valued solution.
Okay, that's great. And we will get back later on to some of the aspects of the benefits that you get vis-a-vis the individual ship, as opposed to the tracking the performance and operational behavior of the overall fleet. So these are two separate aspects, and we'll get back to that. But Yarden, I'd like to move now to you. So we understand there is a need in the market. How does Orca attend to those needs that were just presented by Josh?
Yeah, so with your permission, I prepared a small treat to everyone, and I'm going to do a short demo and show you a little bit what we're doing. So first of all, we're coming with a lot of passion to the industry and a lot of respect. And really the vision is to enhance safety and efficiency. And we know the maritime environment very well, and we know the existing navigation tools and where they are lacking. So when we started to think, what we can bring to the bridge that's going to be a game changer, that's going to enhance the capabilities of the master and his crew to be more aware of the surroundings and take better decisions, we understood we need to build a complete and holistic solution for the bridge. And we are starting from the vision part. So this is our lookout unit. Then we install on the vessel, and it consists high definition cameras that can detect objects, small objects in faraway distances. But actually we are combining that also with thermal cameras for low visibility conditions. And then we are connecting this vision sensor actually with all the inputs in the bridge. So the radar, the AIS, the GPS, and we are fusing all of that together. And we are feeding that to an algorithm that is analyzing the data and produces the insights. So first of all, I would want to show you, how it looks in terms of the installation. This is the Liberty Pride that we installed a couple of months ago. You can see the lookout unit on the Monkey Island. It's very easy to install. It takes us about 6 hours. In the left side, you can see how it looks inside the bridge. So you have the, the existing radar, the ACDIS, and then the left side, you have a 24-inch touch display. This is the Orca system. And in terms of the entire system and the algorithm, this is how it looks under the hood. So this is how the algorithm perceives the world. So we're feeding the algorithm visual data that comes from the cameras, but also we're feeding the algorithm with the green lines here. This is the sensorial data, and we are fusing that together. Then we're packaging all of that to a very intuitive user interface. So it's going to be simple for the crew to understand. And this is actually what they see. We're detecting every obstacle, as you can see here, classifying between the type of objects. So you can see a buoy here and then also a vessel. And once you press that, you get all the information about a specific vessel. We are doing that also at night. So here you can see that with a thermal view. This is inside the Mississippi River. So you can see this is in pitch black night. So we get clear visibility, which enhances the awareness of the situation and enable better decision making. And actually what we did was installing the system on the ship, but what we started to learn is that the data that we're extracting from the vessel is super relevant, and it's a powerful tool for the ship manager or the owner to actually get insights to what's going on in the middle of the ocean. So today we're providing also a dashboard that enables the ship manager to track risky behaviors over time and to be able to investigate if something happened and to enable him to actually enhance his safety over time by these insights. And if, let's say, something happened, he can actually get a real-time view from the specific event, or even a real-time view if needed, in a way to assist the crew on board or the vessel. So in general, this is what we do. Up until now, we installed it on multiple vessels. The feedbacks are great. And I think, we have a good mission here.
Okay, thank you, Yarden, and I hope that the attendees to the webinar recovered from the seasickness from the video that you presented. But I wanted to bring the COVID-19 context here as well. So we were talking about safety as the main driver for everything, for the need side as well as for the solution side. And obviously safety, and specifically crew safety, is something which is a consideration, a traditional consideration always, but COVID-19 might bring an angle here as well. So Josh, can you maybe go first and provide us maybe with that angle of what is the effect of COVID-19 on the considerations?
Sure. I think we've all seen in the shipping industry, as we would refer to, perils of the sea, storms, floods, tornadoes, water tornadoes, all different types of events. I think the world had to adapt overnight to this biological change that we're dealing with. And shipping companies were forced pretty much to close our offices and go remote overnight. In the United States, we were all deemed, both our shoreside staff and our ships, essential workers. However, Liberty enacted its business continuity plan. We've been operating remotely now for over a month. It's pretty incredible. I mean, look at right now, we're on Zoom talking to the world, talking to each other from Israel to New York and abroad. We've had to adapt things and change meetings into emails. but it's also allowed us to transition and see how products and technological solutions from Zoom to Orca are really important to keep the cohesion between ship and shore and keep everything safe. And so we're always looking at the opportunity to utilize technology to enhance safety, to enhance cargo carriage and customer service. And COVID-19 has just highlighted how advanced planning and cooperation with companies like Orca can come to assist safety near and far.
Okay, and Yarden, can you provide any additional specifics of that context?
Yeah, so I believe, you know, this is the time more than ever to put the emphasis on safety. So, you know, so the ones who are in the maritime domain that is listening, there are almost no crew changes today in the world. So this is a major issue, which creates, you know, tiredness, frustration, fatigue. And I think visibility and communication is key here. So the shore side, you know, they need to have the ability to track risky behavior and actually assist the crew if something happens. And this is exactly what we build. So we're building this dashboard that extracting the data from the vessel and with a powerful smart alarm system enables the shore side to see if there is anomalies, dangerous situation, dangerous behavior, to actually get real-time view from the ship if something happens. So I think it's a powerful tool more than ever to assist the crew, create visibility between crew on board and the shore side. You know, and we were also developing new features that I think can be contributed to safety and can help even the crew on board. So for example, you know, what's going to happen if a certain ship with most of the crew will get sick by COVID-19 and most of the crew will need to be quarantined in the room. Something that, by the way, happened with the Maersk vessel a couple of weeks ago and can happen more and more frequent. So now we're developing, for example, a capability to mirror what you see on the bridge. So to mirror exactly the view from the cameras to a tablet. So in a case the captain needs to quarantine himself inside the room, he will be able to take this tablet with him and will be able to get a full view of what is going on around the vessel, full awareness, and can help with decision-making to you know, the first mate or second mate on the vessel. So I think, you know, to sum it up, I think, you know, this is a time where crews are being there alone at sea, and you know, you have tiredness, you have fatigue, and I think this is the time that the shore side needs to be a little bit more involved also in terms of enhancing the safety as well.
Okay, that's very interesting, and I'd like to switch gears here and move to the other topic, which is the collaboration between a startup and a corporate. But before I do that, I took a peek before in the Q&A screen, and I saw already a couple of good questions coming up. I'd like to encourage the audience to present their questions as we speak. In about 5 to 10 minutes, we're going to open up to such Q&A. So again, reverting back to the challenge of corporate startup collaboration, and we have quite few other startups as well as corporates in the audience, which all know, we are all aware of the fact that startups are perceived to be agile and nimble, very light-footed, while again, the perception is, I know, Josh, that with Liberty it's a bit different, but the perception is that corporates are pretty heavy, a lot of red tape, and granted legal aspects, regulations and all that. And this means different DNA, different cultures for both sides. And here you are collaborating together. The question is, can you share with us some of the lessons learned, even anecdotal points about the collaboration between Liberty and Orca? And again, Josh, why won't you go first?
Sure, thanks. That's a great question. You know, as a starting point, I think at Liberty, we think of ourselves as flexible, adaptable, and creative. And we put those together both in the shipping sense to service customers, but also in the technological sense in both creating and developing systems internally, proprietary systems for our use, but also in cooperating and collaborating with startups. We think that having close collaboration with a startup allows that company to receive valuable input and feedback directly from users with active assets. So operators and ship owners, ocean carriers more broadly, we know what we need, we know where we need to improve. And this starts with a two-way dialogue and not just looking at this as a service package or a fee. And so Orca and Liberty, or more specifically, Yarden and I have developed a nice relationship where we have weekly communications. We're exchanging information. He's receiving input directly from an ocean carrier that knows ways that maybe test products and pilots can be improved, can make customer introductions and lend for credibility. And at the same time, the Orca team is coming back with insights on data and knowledge that Liberty might not otherwise be able to identify from not only their product today, but some of their past naval and military experience for safety and navigation. This webinar is focused on Orca, and Liberty is focused on safety. They go together very well. I also think that we're able to provide that feedback to Orca that they might not otherwise get if a customer didn't want to maybe insult someone or say this isn't going to work. And Orca has been very receptive to our feedback and given us insight that we wouldn't otherwise have.
And a quick follow-up question, Josh. I'm sure that there are pushbacks coming from the business side because they are busy as it is and they don't need the additional headache of experimenting with a new solution. First of all, indeed, do you have such pushbacks coming, and how do you overcome such?
Well, in my role, I have pushback every day with everything and every department, which is good. We need that pushback. We need that challenge. We have people of all ages and skill sets and types that work at Liberty. And what we do is work together to find the best solution that works for safety on our vessels and improving our customer service of carriage at sea. And overall, I think people have began at Liberty to see the benefit of technology. One of our real true internal focuses is data utilization and data analytics. And over time, I think the naysayers have become believers.
Okay, great. And thank you. Now, Yarden, I know that you are experienced. You are a serial entrepreneur in a way, so that's not your first time. But what are your tricks when you are coming to speak to these giants out there? How do you conduct yourself?
So for the entrepreneurs that are watching, from my perspective, and this is the difference between a tech company, a startup company to a corporate, is usually how quickly they move and the agility. And the trick is, to find corporates that have the type DNA that can move quickly with you, can be agile enough, and provide the feedback. So Josh talked about the feedback. This is crucial for us when we are developing a product. Think about a product that installed on a vessel, traveling all around the world, and you have minimal communication. So you need to get this feedback, and this feedback loop is actually helping a lot. So I think, and we're working with several corporates now with Orca, and I think that, Liberty is one of the corporates that knows how to move very quickly, knows how to be agile, and understand that we're building this product for them and understand the potential of the product. So they're providing the feedback loop that enables us to add more features and to understand what is working properly, what is not working properly. And I think everything started, by the way, everything started by you, Hanan. You connected between Josh and I. So thank you. But I think, everything started from when Josh and I met, and we understood that we have similar vision. Even though Josh is running a corporate in the shipping industry, which is a very conservative industry, Josh has the vision and you understand the importance of technology. So once you have a partner, in the other side that has the same vision as you, you can move quickly, you can test stuff, and you can actually create value very quickly for the corporate. So I think for us, it worked. And I think for us, this was the trick, to find the right person and the right company.
Okay, that's great. And I will not ask more follow-up questions here for a simple reason. We have quite few questions lining up in the Q&A part, in the Q&A panel, and I'd like to address as many as possible during the session. and we're trying to limit ourselves to 40, 45 minutes, not more than that. So what I'll ask you is, first of all, to stay to the point with the answers to the questions, and I'll try also to aggregate and maybe cluster together every here and there a couple of the questions that I saw coming up. First one is regarding IMO, the International Maritime Organization. And the question is, what is the position of IMO, classification societies, and such towards the initiative? Again, let's keep the order. Josh, you first.
I mean, I can't comment with regard to the IMO's position to Orca in particular. You know, Liberty's position is that it's a safety enhancement tool for our vessels, making it safer navigation. As far as the, you know, approvals, you know, Liberty's technical department went through all the necessary prevention and protocols to make sure that the product was safe, and oversaw the installation of not only the unit, but any wiring and anything into our bridge and our equipment was overseen and approved by Liberty. And, you know, I would turn it over to Yarden to talk maybe more about how regulatory agencies have perceived or interacted with Orca. I can't really comment on that.
Okay, yeah. Absolutely. Yarden?
So first of all, the official position of the IMO regarding safety is top priority. About, you know, collision avoidance system based on AI, based on vision sensor, this is something that is pretty new to them. Actually, I went to visit the IMO. It was late last year, and I did an entire presentation and showed them a demo and showed them, you know, exactly where it can contribute to safety, which is their top priority. So there was a lot of excitement. Actually, they invited me to talk in one of the committees in April, but due to COVID-19, of course, we can't do that. And in terms of the classification society, so we're working very closely with them. We actually have a collaboration with DNVGL that we're going to do a press release about it pretty soon with the results. So we are helping them to build a structure on how to test AI type of navigation tools and collision avoidance, because they understand that AI is going to penetrate the maritime industry and is going to create a lot of value in the next couple of years. So we are helping them in this sense. So we're working very closely with them.
Okay, thanks. And the next question, Yarden, is going to be to you because it's about the technology aspect. And as a matter of fact, I'm aggregating here two separate questions. Okay. One is asking if Orca AI is an edge computing application. Edge computing, for the audience, namely, most of the computing is happening on the vessel, on servers on the vessel, and only results are communicated to the back-end server. So is Orca an edge computing application, or everything runs in the cloud? And something related to that, another question is from somebody that says that they do not have any satellite communication at all. And is Orca relevant for them, yes or no?
All right. So actually the architecture that we built is pretty interesting. So we have on-premise, on the vessel, we have the system. With the GPU, the computing power that gets the information, gets the input from the cameras, from the radar, from the AIS, and basically crunches the data and produce the insights in real time. On top of that, we are also collecting data from the voyage. And we have about 2 months of data on every ship. And once we have a protocol, once we're hitting connectivity, then we have an algorithm that is doing pre-process on the edge, on the vessel, and cherry pick only the relevant data to send back to shore, because some of the data is just, as you can imagine, blue sky and blue sea. It can be beautiful, but it's not helpful for anyone. So this type of data, this algorithm can actually understand and can validate and can erase it. So only the relevant data, collisions, near misses, entering a port, congested waters, a boat crossing. So all the relevant information is going back to shore. So it will be, first of all, for training for the algorithms, because this is an AI, it needs to be trained on real world data. But also today we're providing the access to the ship owner, the manager, to see what actually happened.
Okay, great. So whoever asked the question, it says here anonymous, but whoever asked it, so even though you do not have VSAT, you don't have, then it's still relevant.
Yes, because we are providing today 4G communication. So this is a part of the entire package. So the system can work offline without any VSAT communication. And once it goes back to shore, so then we can transfer the data. VSAT is enabling only one capability, which is remote view in real time. So if you want to actually see everything in a remote view in real time, you need a VSAT communication.
Okay.
Could I jump in here for a second?
So I will offer for you to chime in whenever. Okay.
For transparency, and you know, Yarden and I discussed some safety concerns. So if there's any other ship operators on the call, when we initially worked on the install, we did not want to connect directly into certain communication systems for cybersecurity and other concerns. And so Orca's solution completely works with their own 4G connectivity that doesn't have to flow through your satellites. However, as Yarden correctly identified, if you want to use the product to its maximum capability in terms of real-time or slightly delayed view, you need a higher mode of compression and communication remotely, and that obviously has to go through VSAT or other type of satellite communication.
Great. So that was a comprehensive answer, and I think it was a good one, a positive one to the one that asked it. I'd like to move on. The next question is an ROI question, and it's addressed here at Yarden, but after Yarden provides his response, Josh, you are welcome to chime in as well. The question is it possible to quantify the benefits of Orca AI in terms of costs? In other words, what is the return on investment? Yarden, the floor is yours.
So first of all, I think, you know, Josh can answer that better than I do from you know, operator perspective. But you know, what can I say is that, first of all, we're trying to quantify now, and the risk analysis that we're doing to the shore side, you know, can actually be a powerful tool also the insurance companies. So this is a long-term goal that we will try to reduce insurance premiums through that. But I would say, you know, if you have a ship that costs, you know, millions of dollars, and it carries now fuel or oil on it, think, well, what is the price? How do you quantify an accident? So I think the cost and Orca also build a cost-effective model for the operators and the owners to be able to buy the system. But Josh, I think from your perspective, you know, from a ship owner perspective, you will have a much better answer.
Yeah, so I think, you know, from a ship operator's perspective, ROI can be defined in many ways. As Yarden was alluding to, you know, it's very difficult to value a collision, but if you have a collision, either small or large, it's very costly, both on your insurance side, detrimental to your operation, your carrier reputation, and of course, if it's severe, the general repairs that you need to do. I think there's another, you know, ROI here on the shore side, which is there is some certain monitoring and data statistics, both on an individual vessel or fleet level that you can get, that, you know, situations that are near misses can be evaluated, handling in extreme weather conditions or extreme congestion areas that maybe an ecdis or doesn't necessarily do it justice, and that data point comes back as another area of ROI. And then the last one, as Yarden was alluding to, is there is a way to utilize this product to potentially cooperate with your insurance companies and prove safety handling and reducing risk management or reducing, you know, risk in management initiatives. And, you know, Yarden and I can speak about that. If anyone's interested on a personal contact, we can discuss that further from the insurance perspective.
Okay, that's great. Thank you. The next question is relating to, I mean, it's made of two parts. The next question, one is about the relationship between Liberty and theDOCK, Liberty and Orca, theDOCK and Orca, so the relationship. And the second one is about who are Orca's competitors, coming from the same person. With your permission, Josh and Yarden, I'd like to relate to the first part I mentioned here, because we take pride in what we do. So Orca is a portfolio company of theDOCK. We invested in Orca, same like we do with all portfolio companies, all portfolio startups. And as a matter of fact, many of the other startups which are not yet in our portfolio, we like to help them. It's a win-win-win case for us to make connections with major players and leaders out in the field, be that operating companies, shipping companies, port operators, port authorities, shipyards, you name it. That's what we do, such introductions. Obviously, we have a network of many tens of corporates, which we know at this point in time, after 3 years of activity. Josh, and I'm saying it here in your face, Liberty stood up in terms of their interest in innovation, and Josh has been proven very valuable, not only as a personal friend, but I'll say also as a person that on one hand has the hat of Chief Operating Officer, knowing the business very well, and on the other end, very innovative and very innovation conscious. And the mix of those two traits obviously make Liberty a very valuable partner for theDOCK. This pretty much describes the interest and the relations between the parties. I don't know which one of you would like to attend to this specific question about the relations. Raise your hand. It's open for both Josh and Yarden, and then we'll address the competition. Please, Josh.
Yeah, well, thanks for that. I think transparency, especially with technology and ocean carriers or corporate CVCs, is very important. To be very clear, Liberty is an independent with regard to both theDOCK and Orca. We are strategically aligned in terms of our interest in technology, promoting mariner safety, technological solutions, data utilization, and efficiency. And we offer basically our knowledge, our insight, our carrier network to help startups progress through both their early and mid stages, but also to receive benefits for Liberty to enhance not only our safety culture, but our utilization of technology at large. But we are not, at least at the time of this call, either an investor or on any retainer contracts with either theDOCK or Orca. This is purely out of alignment, passion, and collaboration.
Okay, Yarden, anything to add?
Yeah, I'll take the next one about the competition.
Please, go ahead.
So there are some initiatives in the market to build similar products by few OEMs like Furuno and GRC. I think the difference, and this is the major difference between what Orca is doing to all the other ones. First of all, is with the capabilities of AI in terms of computer vision. So we developed so many capabilities to be able to detect objects in a very accurate way, to track them in a very accurate way, to measure the distance only with camera. This is technology that is not available. I'm not talking about even if someone is doing that, it's not available in the maritime domain to actually measure distance only with the cameras, to measure the velocity, the bearing, and by that extracting very relevant information like CPA, TCPA, and to understand if you have a bow crossing or smart alarms, to build smart alarms on top of that. So I think the infrastructure, the underlying technology of what we built is the most robust in the market. I think it's going to be very hard to compete with that. And also we wrote some patents in this respect. So the robustness of the technology is something that defines us, and it's different from what others doing in the market.
Okay, great, thanks. And by the way, just for everybody, we're close to the 30 question mark, 30, which means that the session is interesting and the topics, Josh and Yarden, that you're talking about are energizing the audience, which is great. A short anecdote about the next question. Again, to the audience, yesterday, when we thought that that we need to warm up the questions, I asked a question about a certain topic. And because we had so many questions come up, we did not have to revert to our own makeup questions, but the one that is now going to be next is actually the one that we deliberated yesterday. And of course, I counted how many we're going to have before that. Big Brother. The issue of Big Brother concerns on the crew side whether the Big Brother is watching over the shoulders in terms of all the operational metrics which are collected. Again, by raise of hand, I don't know who would like to go first about that.
I can start. You know, you can look at most onboard technological solutions that provide information and feedback to shore and attempt to, you know, flag them as Big Brother or characterize them as Big Brother. You know, that's one way to look at it. I don't agree with that. We don't look at this as Big Brother, but rather safety enhancements and the use of technology to make jobs easier. And Yarden alluded to an example we've been in dialogue about with Orca, the idea of using a tablet beyond just the navigation screen on the bridge. So you have a helmsman and an officer on the bridge, potentially a lookout, and you know, they're there, but if the captain is not even sick, if the captain has to attend to something else but wants to see what's going on from a navigation perspective, or any other relevant officer on the vessel, this allows them to be off the bridge but still engaged in safety and navigation, and that could be in a storm or otherwise. This is even more enhanced today through COVID-19 with, you know, vessel quarantining and other things. So we look at this as a positive promotional element, and we're not looking to look over the crew. We're looking to enhance safety management. We're looking to enhance navigation and have a better product and service to our customers at the end of the day.
Okay.
So first of all, I totally agree. So, and you can see that you have similar examples in the automotive industry with fleet management platforms that are not used for Big Brother. They're used to collaboration, to enhance safety, enhance efficiency. And this is how we designed Orca. We designed Orca to enhance efficiency and safety over time. So to look at your fleet level and to be able to assess where you need to improve the safety. And it's all about communication, about understanding both sides, and to create a visibility between the crew on board and the shore side. So I think, I don't think it's likely a Big Brother, and the contrary. I think you need to use it in order to promote safety and in order to achieve the goal of taking the ship from one point to the second to point B in the safest manner possible.
Okay, great. The next one, Yarden, I'm going to present to you, and it's about remote dashboards. So the more you mirror, maybe even eventually in real time, the metrics on board to remote location, the more comes the question about liability. Where lies the liability? And in cases of incidents, this is coming from our friend John Conrad. Hi, John. So, Yarden, what's your answer for that?
The liability and the responsibility will always be of the captain. Even when a captain is coming to the port and the pilot goes on top of the vessel, eventually the responsibility and liability is on the captain. I think the platform is there to assist, and specifically in real time. So you talked about transferring the data in real time. So it's assisting in terms of taking big decisions. So I'll give you a good example. Let's say you're going in a place, let's say in the Strait of Malacca, or a congested area, and you're facing low visibility conditions and heavy weather, and you need to reduce the speed as a captain. So why not sending this information back to shore in real time? They will see, they will assess the situation. They will know better how to handle that with a charterer and provide better answers when they will tell them, listen, the ship is not going to come to the port on time. So this is the type of collaboration that we are talking about when you have better connectivity and you can transfer data.
Okay. Thank you, Yarden. And since we're approaching the top of our time, and before I'll ask you for maybe concluding comments, maybe one last question that we can afford. And by the way, we will see how to go about the rest of the question that we did not manage to attend to. And the question is about the number of the crew members, and specifically how far is the technology from the potential approval or exemption by the flag, not only the IMO, but the flag companies to reduce the crew, to reduce the manning requirements on the vessel. And this is a question, Yarden, that is relevant for the whole market, not just for Orca, but I wonder if you have a view on that. Maybe Josh, you can add to that as well.
Josh, you want to start?
I thought he asked you the question.
No.
I think, okay, so as an initial starting point, the concept of an autonomous ship is great. However, we often have a differentiation between autonomous machinery and machinery for enhancement and the elimination of mariners. I think at the current time, given the state of the shipping industry and the complexity, especially of a car carrier or a ro-ro vessel, the idea of a completely autonomous ship today, we as an industry are not ready for that. However, the products can be used for enhancing people's skill sets on board. I can't comment as to where flag state or class is going to be on reducing, number of mariners on board. Right now, we're not looking to reduce the number of mariners on board. We're looking to enhance the skill sets and use technology to make our ships as safe as possible. I do think that certain cameras, like thermal cameras, are going to have better vision than the human eye. And over time, it's not unrealistic to think that we are going to see changes in maybe crew roles and more focused on a crew that are specialized in using technology. And if there at some point is an automation acceptance by both the industry and the regulators, then shipping companies will adapt to less mariners if that's the direction that those regulators take us.
Okay, thanks, Yarden.
So I completely agree. I think it's a gradual process and it's going to take years until we're going to see a full unmanned ship. And it's going to be also a gradual process and depend what kind of segments we can reduce crews. So for example, building autonomous tugs or ferries that are going from point A to point B, technology perspective, it's much easier. And you can actually reduce crews or reduce the people on the vessel pretty soon. I think it will be able to do. When I say soon, it will be 1, 2, 3 years. But when you talk about the grand vision, where you're going to have ocean-going vessel, which is a totally different story, I think it's going to take much longer until you're going to see crew reduction. When you talk about this type of vessels, it's not only about navigation. You have the engines room. You have a lot of other things you need to do. So in our perspective, we think that you can add automation, but it doesn't mean the crew will be you reduce the crew, but the crew can do other things and they can supervise. Very similar to the aviation industry where you have a pilot sitting in the cockpit, but 95% of the time he's not flying the airplane, the computer is doing that. So the navigation part can be done autonomously and it will be able to happen pretty soon, I think.
Okay, great. So again, we will not be able to attend to additional many questions I can see here, whether it can improve pilotage activity. The answer is obviously yes, it can. And how do you install your solution in the COVID-19 times? And I know that you have set up a network of partners to do that, local partners. But again, we will try to find a way to attend to these and other questions that we were not able to get to. At this point here, since I want to be honest to the time of everybody on the line here, a concluding comment. Josh, why won't you go first and then Yarden?
Well, I mean, just in conclusion, I think this has been great. Thanks again to theDOCK. Our collaboration and cooperation with Orca will continue. Yarden and I have gone from just 2 people in business to developing a nice relationship. I would encourage anyone watching this, from the startup side to reach out to corporates and try and create alignment for collaboration, not just sell a service. And on the shipping or ocean carrier side, I would encourage everyone to think about embracing technology. spending money, utilizing technology. It has benefits. It does have pain points, and there is an adaptation phase. But we as an industry need to adapt to the digital revolution that is happening in shipping and logistics. And it's been a pleasure working with Yarden. I'm really excited to see what's next up for Orca and the other technology products we work with and cooperate with.
Thank you, Yarden.
Yeah, so first of all, thank you, Hanan, for inviting us, and Josh, always a pleasure to work with you and do these type of sessions. Thank you guys for for watching. I'm sure you're super busy. Stay safe. I can say from my perspective, we're doing something that we're really passionate about. I think we have a great mission here, which is enhance safety, save lives, save the environment. And I think we're just in the beginning. So we just started in 2018 and we have a long way to go. And I think, we can build something great here.
Very good. So first of all, thank you very much, Josh and Yarden, and of course, Noah, who is behind the dock rectangle, operating everything in the back office. So thank you for that. Next week, well, first, the session is recorded so that everybody on the line here and others can also attend to it on our website. Next week, we're going to feature same time AI dock and UPS, another interesting case, which is relevant to the COVID-19 era. And other than that, I'll join Yarden in wishing everybody stay safe, and thank you very much for joining. Bye-bye, everybody.
Thank you. Bye-bye.